Hey y'all, you know how I do. No time to waste. Let's get it. Let's go. Oh shit, hold on. My bad. Alright, hold on. My fault. Okay, now let's get it. Let's go.
Yes, you literally just said that, and I defined it 4 times.
You didn't define privilege. You didn't define privilege. You defined it right.
Oh my God. A privilege absent duty is what?
A privilege absent of a duty. I say like free will.
A right. It's a right. I defined it multiple times.
So what are you trying to say? That because women cannot defend physically their right to do things, that they do not deserve rights? Is that the point?
They can't enforce their own rights. So
okay, so because someone cannot enforce their own rights, they don't deserve rights.
Well, they don't have them.
But do they deserve them?
Well, you're at, again...
What? Of course they have rights, whether they can enforce it or not. You can't enforce your own rights. You can't enforce your own rights. You can't. No individual person can enforce rights by themselves.
Then you're moving into a different claim. So if you want to get into like what people deserve or don't deserve, right? We can get into that, but can we at least agree on the descriptor of how it works first?
No.
Okay.
Because women, I'm trying to understand why women don't deserve rights because they cannot physically.
That's a different claim. I just asked you if we could agree to the descriptor before we moved to that claim, and you said no, and then brought that claim up again.
Because the claim doesn't make sense. I don't understand your claim.
Okay.
You make the claim,
and I'm
and then we can
literally
debate.
answering all of your questions for this claim.
Not well, though. Like, what are you saying?
Which question? Which thing am I not answering?
If women do not have a monopoly on force, cannot control their own bodies, why don't they deserve basic human rights, basic equal rights?
Okay, let's try this again. It's like talking to a fucking child. Okay, do you agree with me?
No.
Okay. Do you agree with me?
I've never seen you this pissed off. This is fucking hilarious.
Right, she's getting in his fucking head. She's getting in his head.
Yes, you are.
She's making him think about his points. That's what's really pissing him off. She's making him think deeper about what he's really saying in the scenario. And truth be told, the more you think about it, I know he knows it doesn't make sense, but he has to keep arguing to seem like a great debater for his audience. That's exactly what's happening right now.
Women are emotional. Look at him.
You're the one freaking out, not me.
I'm not freaking out. I think this is hilarious.
For me, it's extremely frustrating talking to someone who doesn't actually understand the words that are coming out of my mouth.
You're sounding very emotional right now, Andrew.
Can we go back?
Would you like to get some water?
Yeah, can we go back and go through all
If you need
of
to cry,
these?
that's okay.
Can we go back
I'm here for you, my friend.
Can we go back through these descriptors now?
Sure.
Okay.
Alrighty.
What is a
You
right?
just want to keep defining words?
What is a right?
Merriam-Webster over here.
What is a right from your perspective?
Okay, I mean...
Think you could guess where you are? Mark your X.
I think we're near.
Yeah, I think she's killing it right now. I think like she's gonna continuously kill it too, because like she's asking to go deep into the point of what you're trying to really even say, and he's getting upset at the fact that she's actually going into what he's trying to say. That's the interesting part about it.
And I'm fine with your definition on those descriptors.
No, but I want your definition.
I'm fine with your definition of
Then why do you keep contradicting yourself if you're fine with my definition?
I'm not contradicting myself. Your claim just doesn't make sense that humans do not deserve rights specifically because they cannot physically.
When did I say they didn't deserve them?
You just did, like
I said
4
they
times.
don't exist inherently, right?
Okay, so whether or not it doesn't exist inherently, does someone still deserve that right? Just because they cannot physically defend themselves.
How do you deserve something that doesn't exist?
But it does exist.
Okay, so now it exists. Does it exist or not exist?
I mean, do I have bodily autonomy currently? Yes. Can I go walk around my house and do what I want? Yes. So on a certain level, it does exist.
Where?
I mean, right here, right now. I'm here on my own free will.
So because you can do this...
Pissing you the fuck off.
So because you can do this, you have the right to do this?
I'm trying to see what extent you think women should not be allowed to do things because they cannot monopolize and control.
Yeah, but...
say your point.
Understand that,
say your point.
I just don't understand practically what you want out of this.
When
so women can't force
It's hard to argue with you because you don't have any understanding of philosophy at all. So when I bring these things up...
That's not the issue. The issue is that your philosophy is inherently flawed. It morally doesn't make sense.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Negate it. Negate the proposition.
Okay, sure. With what I said before, So you're basically saying that people who utilize force to execute laws are those who have the ability to control those laws. My issue is that, and in terms of a movement towards equity or a goal of eliminating, and in terms of feminism, you're saying it's a movement towards equity with the goal of eliminating patriarchal systems. My issue is that I fundamentally do not believe that laws should be exclusively enforced to the benefit of those who have physical power.
Okay, that's not a negation of force doctrine. So, like, I don't know what to... You're so philosophically illiterate that you actually don't even understand what I'm saying to you.
And you're just regularly illiterate. I mean, dude, like, then just argue the claim.
I did argue the claim.
But it doesn't make sense.
Then falsify it.
Okay, just because someone can do something does
She
not mean
keeps
that
falsifying
they have
it.
to do it.
Okay,
Just
so then
because men
descriptively...
can force women to do what they want doesn't mean that they ought
So
to.
then descriptively, do you agree with force doctrine?
I mean, I believe on a, like, blanket, I believe on, like, a smaller level. I think that interpersonally, someone can use force if they have more force over someone.
Okay, let's try this. What is force doctrine?
I
Force
think it's the
doctrine
opposite.
is your whole thing that men have a monopoly on force and human beings have no inherent rights. All laws are enforced by force and violence is used to maintain societal regularity on a certain level.
And that women have to appeal to men for their monopoly on force in order to secure their whatever needs or rights or whatever it is they want, right? That's part of force doctrine?
Sure, yeah,
Okay, do you
by your
agree?
definition.
Then do you agree with the description? Do you agree
Yes.
the description is
I already
true?
said I agreed with the description. That's why
I asked
argue
you
your
4
claim.
times if you agreed with the description
And
of
I
force
said I
doctrine.
agreed with it 4 times. Well, one time I said no to piss you off. But
Okay.
then the other times I said yes.
So you agreed with me that when it comes to force doctrine, you agree to the descriptor being true.
Sure.
Okay, now we can get somewhere, maybe.
That's what I said. Oh my god.
I mean, you never did, but okay.
I did, Andrew.
So now that we can get past that, now that you've agreed to force doctrine, can you tell me why men should enforce women's rights?
Why men should enforce women's rights.
Because they believe
I
in the
don't
benefit of everybody.
necessarily think that... I think that free will is honestly a privilege. I mean, not a privilege. I think that free will is a right. I think that everyone
Well,
has
then-
the right to bodily autonomy.
Then you don't agree to force doctrine. Why'd you lie to me? Why did you lie to me?
You asked me if I agreed with your definition. I
Yeah.
agree with your definition of it. I don't morally agree with it. That's
Well,
what
if
I'm
we
saying.
don't agree with the descriptor, then we have to argue the descriptor
Yes.
until you either falsify the descriptor or agree with the descriptor. It can't be either or. It has to be either or. It can't be anything else. It's either true or it's false.
I just want to understand your moral justification for controlling someone else's body. I'm talking on a moral basis, not that you can't physically. I understand that you can physically. I agree.
He's saying his moral justification. It's just like he doesn't want to agree when you actually tell him what the moral justification is. That you are a terrible person for trying to control somebody's body, basically. You're trying to control how women think, feel, and act, and you can't he doesn't want to straightforward say that. But his point is that, like, yes, if men all collectively decided that women don't have rights and they don't have rights, but yet though, it'd be the same way if like he lived in Africa and all the Africans decided you specifically don't have rights, you wouldn't have rights. If everybody as a collective agreed on anything, it wouldn't move. Even if women as a collective agreed on something, there are certain things that could get done. There are certain things that get done. Not that would be through force, but they all agreed as a collective that they all need rights like they somewhat are now. It is actually getting done regardless of whether men want it or not, like him.
With the premise.
That's nice,
But I want
but
you
I
to
asked
defend
you.
why
But I
morally
asked
this
you
is
a
acceptable.
question, and you didn't answer it. Why should men enforce women's rights? Why should they?
Because it is morally unacceptable to control others. It is morally impermissible.
That's the
to control others.
opposite. You're not controlling. If you're enforcing their rights, it sounds like they're controlling you, right? Like, how are you controlling them by enforcing their rights?
But right is simply, as we've defined it,
Yeah.
a privilege without a
So
duty.
why should men enforce women's privileges?
But they don't have to. So what are you defining as
Answer my question. Why should men enforce women's privileges?
They don't have to enforce women's privilege.
Great. Great. I believe the exact same thing. Perfect. I'm
But
gonna
if
go out
you
and
don't
smoke.
have to enforce, oh my goodness, he's upset.
He's coming back. He's just Do a little
Rage
smoke
quit.
Are
I've
you
got to
kidding?
do
You just
rage
agreed with my
quit.
entire position.
Oh shit! The misogynist
I
rage quit.
agree with you that men should not enforce women's
Well, you didn't
rights.
let me finish the sentence.
Well, I don't really need to. You conceded the debate.
No, I did not concede the debate, Andrew. You're just walking away because you're mad.
Well, I mean, I smoke like I do every.
That's exactly what it is. He walked away, he rage quitted. He did rage quit. She won. She made him feel stupid. She didn't concede anything. She said men should. Why shouldn't men do that? Why, like, and I would ask him the question and vice versa. Why shouldn't men try to enforce women's rights? Why wouldn't men want to? Why would men want to control women? Why don't they want to, like, actually let women have the ability to do whatever they want to do? Bounce back the question at him. All right, I'm out. Peace.